right, welcome back to the channel, True Hustler Movement. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to all the good people out there, my Hustler Nation. You know who you is, you know what I'm saying? Hey, look what we got in front of us, y'all. Some LA choppers, true dual headers. Yes, sir. We about to get it in, baby. So Black Diamond here. She about to get some new pipes, more airflow. Also, as you can see, I'm already running true duals, but I want to run my duals, one header on this side and my other header, secondary header here, to the other side of the bike. Don't worry about it. It's a method to the madness while we doing this. But that'll come later on down the line. Y'all see why. I'm running my one pipe here, and I'm running the second header over the transmitter rather than under the transmission. All right, so LA Choppers blessed us with some headers. It's not an endorsement, but you know, it's what we got. And we're gonna go ahead and install these things. So stick around and let's get ready for this install. Hey, and don't forget, subscribe and like this video. Yes, please subscribe and like this video. But without further ado, let's get this thing started. All right, so let's get a look at this merchandise. Once again, LA Choppers, true dual headers. Alrighty, so got one pipe here. This is the rear pipe that's gonna curve back over the transmission. Okay, so we got one there. Looking good, chromed down. Then we got our primary header, the longer one. It's gonna go from one end all the way straight back. We got our hardware for all the plates, for all the heat shields, mounting bracket. And we also got our O2 plugs. All right, we will be plugging one of the holes up on each pipe because a certain pipe, this bike has certain headers holes that fits. So like here, for the O2 sensor. And the second one, probably, yeah, the second one's there. So one of these we will be plugging up, which will probably be the smaller hole here. I believe we're gonna be plugging that hole up, but we will see once we start installing this thing. But yep, that's the merchandise. Looking good, looking good. So as you can see here, that's what we got right now. It's our current situation. Still true duals, but here my pipe goes underneath the bike. Okay, and that's a lot of people, as you can see, it goes underneath the bike. We're gonna get rid of that. Instead of going underneath the bike, we're going through here to the other side with this pipe here. It's just gonna curve back and then go back over. Everything we got here. So we got our hardware, pipes, clamps, our heat shield clamps. What else we got? Our tools here. We got 14 millimeter. Yeah, we gotta use 14 millimeter on a Harley Davidson. Yep. Gotta use the millimeters. We got a 9/16 half inch wrenches. We got the 9/16 socket and also a half inch socket. We got our clamps here. Our wire cutters, dikes, boom, cut those. Needle nose to pull off the clamps on the headers. We got our assortment of Allen keys. We got a 6 millimeter. These will be used for our plugs on our headers. Yep, those plugs right there. So we got the 6 millimeter. We got the, what is that? 8 millimeter. Yep, 8 millimeter. We got our 5/16. Yep, up, upside down. Keep that thing in focus. Well, anywho, 5/16. It's gonna be for our floorboards. And also we got our 1/4 here. All right. And I will be calling out all the tools as we go along, so y'all can follow along and know what we're using. All right, so Go over here. Start with our doggone muffler. Let's get started. Underneath the muffler, you got the clamp that holds it onto the header. It's a 9/16 bolt. Break it loose. Taking that off, boom. 9/16. That holds it onto the header. Now we'll move on back to the clamps. The exhaust brackets that holds it on the frame rail. And that is our 1/2 inch. So here. I already went through and broke a lot of this stuff beforehand, you know what I'm saying? So it seems like, oh, bolts are too loose. Nah, I went through it and I already removed a little bit for it, already untangled. All right. So it's just gonna take a little bit of finagling, get this muffler off of here. So you just keep playing with it, you know what I'm saying? You may need to use a little bit of lubricant spray in here. Now if you can get some lubricant in there, oh, here we go. Boom, so that's one. That's one off right there. And of course we're reusing these mufflers because they sound real good. Set this on to the side. And I'll get on to the next side. All right, so we got both mufflers off. Okay. Both mufflers is off. All we got left is the headers. So before I start messing with sensors and all that good stuff, I would suggest you remove this main fuse right here. You know what I'm saying? That's your main fuse for the whole bike. You remove this, you're good. You don't have to disconnect the battery. You just remove that fuse. And it's kind of like resetting everything. So especially if you're gonna be messing with the O2 sensors, which is on this side, you got your O2 sensors here, okay? So you have a rear and a front. So of course let's see here, the rear is the black one, and then the white one is the front one. Thank you, LA Choppers, for the great directions on installing these headers. So it's a good thing. It's always good to get something with some instructions. You know, we're not all mechanics. I'm not a certified Harley mechanic, but you know, I like to work on my own stuff, and as long as you got directions, you can't go wrong. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna go ahead and continue now that we got our mufflers off. We'll go ahead and start playing with these headers. So let's go. Just remember where your O2 sensor plugs go. I'm gonna set y'all right there. Y'all should be good to recognize what I'm doing. All right. So back here on the mount for the headers, you got 4 bolts. Already got 3 of them out, and they kind of rusty, you know. So, but all it needs is a 1/2 inch. These are holding the headers onto the bike mount. So you got one here that you take off, which I already broke earlier. Let's see if I can get my fat fingers in there. Unscrew this one. So we got 2 at the top and 2 on the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom. Voila, got that out. Set that down. Now, the headers are free from the bike. He's from the bracket, okay? We also got, this is our second header here. We're gonna take our dikes, remove our zip ties that's holding the wires on now. Keep in mind, try to remember how these things are routed, all right? Try to remember how they're routed. You're gonna reroute it pretty much the same way. Try not to cut anything else. So your zip ties, you get zip tied all day long. So they run there, they run down here, okay? And this down here is where they separate. Voila. So our O2 sensors are free. So you can even see the wire. So we got the white one going to the front, like the instruction said. White is the front, and black is the rear. This is our rear, right here. So this is the one we're gonna be taking out. Just ran right here, boom. Go ahead and remove our fuse here. Big 40 amp fuse is out. We'll set that to the side. All right. Go ahead and remove these two sensors here. All it is a push and pull. Push and pull plug here. There's nothing to it. That's the rear. Lamp. So this is our rear. Marvelous. So now we can get our 14 millimeter. Yep, I said 14 millimeter on a Harley. Who would have thought? And we can loosen up our O2 sensor. And this thing was on there pretty good, so I'll loosen it up here while it's on the bike, still mounted, so I ain't gotta worry about it when I take it apart when it's off the bike. So. Like that, that's good. And we got our front, which is down here on the bottom, so we gotta go to the bottom to get our front O2 sensor off. Okay, so we'll go ahead and unplug this one, push it up there, release the latch, pull down. Oh, done. This stuff's a tad bit dirty. I like to clean my stuff as I go, you know. See, a shop ain't gonna do that. They'll just be like, yeah, unplug it, put that shit back on, put it back on, and that'll be that. I like to clean as I go. That's just me. So, boom. All right, it's unplugged. So now we're gonna go down and remove our floorboard, which calls for this 5/8. You see that in there? That's 5/8 Allen key. All right, Alright, so we got the floorboard removed. Our front floorboard. We're cooking like popcorn now, people. Yeah. Alright, so let's get to this rear header here. Where our sockets come into play. 1/2-inch nuts here on your flanges for your exhaust. So you can take your 10-inch extension with a socket on it. Break this thing free. Okay. 2 bolts, that's it. Nuts here. Now the front side, you're not going to be able to get the ratchet in there. You got to use a wrench. So that's why we have our 1/2-inch wrench also. Okay. Bam. That's one nut there. And that's 2 nuts. Bam. So we are ready to remove our first header. All right. Go ahead and pull that out of there. O2 sensor. Plug. And there you have it, folks. That's a little piece. Just held the header to the bike. Little mount there. So it just slides in and out, slides in and out. Got our O2 plug. And our first header. Boom. Time for the next one. That's all she wrote, folks. Bam. There you have it. Header number 2. Now, these flanges here, you're gonna be reusing these flanges, all right? So you got these little clips in here, man. Special clips. So you just gotta get these off here to remove the flange, all right? Too easy. That's why I got the needle nose. All right, make sure y'all see that real good. Grab my needle nose. All right, so all we're gonna do is just twist this off, okay? Take the needle nose, grab it. Bam. And it's off. That's what it looks like. And then our flange goes ahead and slides right off. See that? Boom. Reusing this. And I'll do it to the next one, and we'll be moving on to the great install. All right. Well, things seem to be going fine, you know. We got a little bit more time left, you know, to get this done. It's not a real long job. It's really not. I'm telling you, you can do it easy. So let me show you what we're working with. So I went ahead and ordered this stuff early I know I was gonna replace it. So I ended up getting new gaskets, right? I got the flat gasket, and I also got the tapered exhaust gasket, courtesy of DennisKurt.com, motorcycle accessories. I also got new retainer rings for the flanges here, for the exhaust flanges. Okay, boom, too easy. Do that. I got new bolts, new nuts, everything new. You know what I'm saying? But you never know if you're ever gonna need the old stuff or the new stuff. So I just found out I really don't need to change my gaskets because the old ones are still in great condition. So let me show you those. So let me get you to see in there. See these new ones. Let me take y'all off this pod. Shine some light in there. So, see the new gaskets. New gasket. It's showing pretty good in there, right? It's nice and flat. Real nice and flat in there. So, no need to replace it. Just leave it in. You don't have to worry about no leaks because that's a real good, looks real good in there. Okay, looking at the other side. And that one looks good as well. No bends, no fraying of the material. Looks good as well. So boom, we're just gonna leave those in there. Hey, like they say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So we're gonna go ahead and start removing our O2 sensors from our old headers and putting them in the new headers. So it's too easy. Remember, we already broke these loose earlier. Need a 14 millimeter. So we got the 14 millimeter. Just like that, too easy. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these. I'm gonna go ahead and get this off. And I'll get back to y'all because I can't work with just one hand. I need both hands, all right? So, be back with you. All right, we're gonna prep these new ones. Go ahead and unwrap them. Yeah. Go ahead and unwrap these things. So I got my gloves on. I'm trying to keep as many fingerprints off the pipes as possible. Oils from your fingers get on the pipes. Don't clean it off. The pipes will get, once they get hot, you know, they will stain the pipes, the chrome. Even though they got heat shields, but still. Even though it's heat shields, still precaution. Curtain. There. Ooh, look at that. these shields off. Under there. That's what we working with. Nice. So now we're going to decide which one of these hoses we're going to plug up with our O2 sensor. So, just grab an O2 sensor, see which one fits. One like it's going to be the smaller hole. Boom. Put that in the smaller hole. Then, we're going to take our plugs. Therefore, take our plugs that came with the new head pipes. We're going to go ahead and plug up the larger hole. Boom. Yep. We're going to take our 5/16 and tighten it down. Right. Hole number one, plug. And we will do that to the next one, or second pipe. We'll get ready to install this, and be right back. Nice. All right, so we're going to install our stock exhaust bracket. Hey, be sure you have your stock exhaust bracket, because my exhaust, the head pipes I had on here before, it was a different bracket. It wasn't the stock bracket. So luckily, I was able to find the stock bracket for the new head pipes. Because with the new head pipes, you get this P-clamp. And this P-clamp has to go onto the stock exhaust bracket. Show you how that looks. So, just the stock exhaust bracket here. The P-clamp goes over that. Just like that. Holding the new head pipe in place. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and install this. Take a little bit of this, a little bit of my blue Loctite. Just put on the head on the bolts, just a tad bit. You gotta be crazy with it. Start my first one. Shablam. I'll go ahead and start the second one. Little blue Loctite. My quarter-inch Allen key to tighten these bolts down. And just put a little extra torque on it. Take one of your box end wrenches, open box end wrenches, put it on the end of that thing, and you can torque it down. Same for the other side. Put it down. Bam, too easy. I'm gonna stop bracket install. We're good for the P-clamp for the new head pipes. Chop this back up. All right, so we do got both plugs installed on our new head pipes. I did use a little anti-seize on them. So instructions calls for a little anti-seize on the plugs. So that's good to go. Looking nice and pretty. Yes, sir. Next, we're gonna install all of our clamps for our heat shields, all right? So everything that's gonna be on it, we're gonna put it on loosely because we're gonna have to go through and tighten it later. But I wanna have adjustability while they're sitting on the engine. So now we're gonna go ahead and install our sear clamps, which are these here, and our flanges, all right? Our exhaust flanges that we're reusing from the stock headers. So we'll slide that on there. And a pair of needle nose. We'll install these. Install our sear clips here. Okay. Alrighty. A little task here, but we will get it. All right, that's one. Flip clip on there, and the flange. Now I'm gonna put it up to the exhaust, to the engine itself. Make sure that sear clamp falls into that flange, that groove there on the flange. And then we tighten it down evenly. So that's one, let's install the other. Done. Flange not moving. All right, so let's install our clamps on our heat shields. But first, before we install our heat shields, let's go ahead and put the O2 sensors in, back in our holes here. So remember, front head pipe is gonna be according to the instructions, the front one is gonna be the gray O2 sensor, gray plug, and the rear will be the black plug, all right? Boom. So let's go ahead and do that. Since I'm holding the front head pipe, go ahead and grab our gray O2 sensor. You can check and make sure the wires are not cut or anything, frayed, you know. O2 sensors looks pretty good. We're gonna add some anti-seize to this before we plug it into our pipe. So let's do that. And this, the O2 sensors is 14 millimeter. Yep, I said millimeter. So just add a little bit of anti-seize on it. Just a little dab. Ain't gotta be ridiculous with it. I wanna get none of this grease on the head pipe. Regardless, we're gonna wipe it down anyways before we screw it in like this. Yes, I'm trying to do this. Hold the pipe at the same time. Grab our 14 millimeter wrench. O2 sensor number 1 installed. Let's move on to number 2. Oh. Head pipe number 2. Add a little dab of anti-seize on that thing. Go ahead and start it. Right. 14mm wrench, tighten it down. You gotta get crazy with it, but just a little oomph to it. All right. O2 sensor number 2 installed. All right, we got the muffler on. Muffler's on both sides. Looking good, looking good. Better coming through there. Air pipe. Muffler's on. I'm OCD, so I had to make sure both of them was even. They look even to me. Yes, sir. All right, now we're going to install this size heat shield. First, we'll go ahead and tighten down the head pipe. Remember, everything was still loose, so we're going to go ahead and tighten up the head pipe now. Finish tightening up the P-clamp down there that holds the head pipe on. And shoot, we pretty much done after that. And you know what I'm saying? Go ahead and do the startup. So, let's get to it. Let's install this heat shield. Finish tightening up P-clamp on here. Got nothing rubbing. clamp is tight. Right down to rid of the prints. So we're gonna finish on, go ahead and tighten down the head pipe. And what I said, once it's tight, you can go back check it later with soap and water. Spray soap and water around the flange and see if it blows bubbles. Just check for leaks. So we'll check that later. All right, she's all tightened down, ready to go. So, let's go ahead and test it out real quick. Put our fuse back in, our 40 amp main fuse. Slide this back in there. All righty. Crank this thing up, see what it sounds like. True doors, baby. LA choppers, true doors. Looking good. Remember, it's a method to the madness. It's the reason why I got my pipes coming on this side. Making room underneath the bike. You know what I'm saying? Now it's all nice and clean up under there. I'm pretty sure some of y'all can guess what's coming next. But it's clean up under there. Keeping my duals. I don't need to run no side pipe. The duals is where it's at. So, well, I finished buttoning her on up. Finished putting on the floorboard and everything. And it's a done deal. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in, checking me out, install these true dual headers by LA Choppers. Hey, this goes to show you can get out there and do your own work. Don't be afraid. Just get out there and jump. As long as you got instructions and you got videos like people stream on YouTube, you can't go wrong. All right, so thanks for tuning in. Stay tuned for more videos. Hope you guys like this one. Go ahead and throw that thumbs up on there. Subscribe. Hey, do what you do. But it's true. You know what I'm saying? Signing out. Peace.